Beautiful snowy day today. Looks pretty in the trees. Birdies are sloppy mess. But hopefully that makes it easier to drive through. Hi, Jenny here. Today is Friday, March 22nd, right? Yep. March 22nd. So, yesterday I had my second pelvic floor therapy appointment, and today I had acupuncture. So, thought I would talk about that stuff. Yesterday was also my 1-year anniversary of getting my ileostomy. So I have had an ostomy for 1 year now, which is hard to believe. It seems shorter, but yet it also seems like I've had it forever. So, yeah, hearing about people that, oh, I've had my ostomy for, 2-3 years, but it's just like, wow, that's a really long time. And now I've had mine for a year, and it doesn't seem like that long, but that's a long time to be doing, bag changes for that amount of time. Think I've got it down. Yeah, so that, at least that's all going well. So that's good. I guess one of those things of how it seems different is that when I had the ileostomy, there was a potential of that being reversed. So then when it became the time of that it couldn't be reversed, and I was going to have a permanent colostomy, that just kind of changes your way of thinking, and that too, of knowing that it's not ever going to be a different way. I'm always going to have a bag. But again, thank God for somebody that came up with that figured that out to keep us alive that much longer. So that's okay. I'll take it. Anyways, pelvic floor therapy, that went well again. My therapist asked me for different things of like what I'm noticing as I'm moving around that I might be having trouble with, or what I might be causing pain, and things like that. So that way she can come up with exercises for me, things to do, and obviously to, again, get the body back to being completely functional, pain-free. So I did come up with one thing of that kind of bending over, picking up things like off the floor, off the ground, that kind of hurt the quads a little bit. But again, that's, kind of obviously the squat type thing, which, that affects the legs. That's usually all quads, but so I said, okay. And then again, that's kind of my homework for this week, is to pay attention to, normal functional life and what I think I need help with. So for this one, she asked how the exercises were going. I said, well, I've done the exercises now for 1 week, and I told her that my pattern, the way I was doing it, is that I'm doing each exercise, holding it for 30 seconds, and then repeating that whole cycle 3 times. So she said that was perfect, that was a good idea. So that's good. So then she said if I found them fairly easy and stuff, and I said yes, yeah, I did. So she brought in a little inflatable cushion item. So it had three little pillows, probably about the size of my hand, side by side. And she had a bulb that she squeezed to inflate the pillows. So she put that beneath my back, and she inflated it to, I think, 40 pounds of pressure, and had me watch it. And then she said, okay, now tighten your stomach, like the one exercise we were doing, like you feel like you're gonna be punched in the stomach, so tighten the stomach, and you want to see that needle move from the 40 up to the 60, and then hold it there. And so I was doing that, so it's a little bit harder, right? I said, yeah. She was, okay, well now, she was march your legs. So I'm laying there, she says, you can do that, right? You can, yeah, so I could do that pain-free, that was fine. So again, while I'm laying on the table, I'm putting my legs up and down. In the meantime, I'm also having to hold my stomach tense. That was a little difficult, because they said the needle would be kind of dropping. She said, it's gonna drop a little bit, and that's fine, but you wanna try to hold it at that 60 mark. And so I did that for a little bit, and she had me do like 5 each leg. And she said, no, that's a little bit more difficult, right? You can feel the engagement of the stomach, and And I said yes. And she was okay. That's kind of what, what she wants. That's one of the new exercises for this week. And again, just really engage that core and keep those muscles tight. And then another one we did, I talked about how, again, all these little things, like I said, I'm finally ready to exercise. I'm feeling confident enough that I can do it. I feel strong enough. I feel more confident I've gotten like her okay, and then I can do the stuff where I'm twisting and things, and then I know it's not going to hurt the stomach. And again, as she said, we'll just do it to the point of gentle tension. Again, if it's really hurting, obviously stop. So I said, so one of the other things is having my butt sewn shut, that as far as trying to do squats or doing anything, again, to try to do it safely and not injure that area. And she said, well, again, same, try some things, and if you're feeling any pain, you're feeling it, then stop. And again, pay attention to that, let me know next week, and we can work on things. So one of the exercises we're going to start with that is doing what I call butt taps. I think other people have called them butt taps. So it's doing squats and touching your butt to the chair or couch or whatever, and standing back up. So I'll try to do another run of the exercises at the end of this video again, like I did on the other one, of show you what the exercises look like. So there's that one, and another one is doing the bridge, which is, again, when you're laying down, knees are up, and then you lift your butt up, so you're at an angle, so you're kind of got your hands back there, and then you're lifting up. Woo, just doing that. So again, as I said, feel that all in the front of the legs. That's where all that tension is. And she said, yep, you're gonna feel that, but also try to feel it in your glutes, in your gluteus maximus, right? Your butt muscles. So to feel it in there and squeeze that, and again, that should also help work, the butt area. So I had asked her whether she had any other patients and that have had their butt sewn shut, that she knows of exercises that she's given to them, or exercises that they do, exercises to do. And she said, well, each individual is different. So again, it depends on you and how you're feeling, and so like that, like what you can do, can't do. She goes, she's with the couple that she's had and stuff, she's like, you're much further along than anybody else I've had. So that's what she says, it's probably due to things that you've done before this all happened. So like I said, I exercise on and off here and there. I like exercising, but it's just a matter of taking the time to do it. So I've kept up with my walking, that's about it. But, so that's nice. Although granted too, I also don't know, like I'm 3 months out from surgery, so I'm pretty far along, pretty well healed. I don't know where other patients, like how far out from surgery they've been also, to say how much more help they might need. I have a friend that had breast cancer, and she did the reconstruction surgery. I don't know a lot about that. I still haven't, I keep wanting to look that up and figure out what, just kind of learn what that's all about. But she mentioned that they were going to take a stomach muscle and to do the rebuild. So I don't know, I imagine they'd have to take a muscle out of each side. So kind of what they did with me, where they cut the muscle up on top and then they flipped it down to do the reconstruction surgery of my bottom. I think with her, they would cut the muscle from the bottom and flip it up. And so I would think they'd have to do one on each side to, have a muscle for each one. So in that respect, she may have either more of a scar. I don't know if they could only do one cut, if they'd have to do 2 cuts, and do her surgery. So I know she was going through physical therapy, and she said that she's finally kind of able to stand upright. And so I thought, well, but then again, she had her surgery, I think, early February, so she's not that far out. And so in that, again, in that respect, my being 3 months out, I'm doing well. She also massaged my scar line right away. It was one of the first things that we did. I laid it on the table and she did that. I said, one thing I did notice is that with doing these exercises, that my stomach doesn't hurt as much just walking around the house, doing normal, just sitting and stuff. I don't really feel a lot of pain. I feel pain when I touch. It's still tactile. I can feel the pain. It still hurts. Interesting, when she was massaging it though, it was kind of funny. I don't know. the method she was doing or faster or whatever, but it almost felt like I had a heating pad on my stomach. It felt nice and warm. But I didn't feel any pain. I didn't feel any pain as she was doing all the massaging up here until she got kind of below the belly button. Then I could feel a little bit. And so I don't even know how much she did closer to the belly button, because then again, whatever she was, you feel this? And I said, no, I wasn't feeling anything else at that point. So that's how we're going to start each session. She's going to massage the stomach, and then we'll get into the exercise portion. So after we did all that in the room, then she took me out to the exercise area, and she showed me a foam roller. Granted, I've seen those before from having worked at a health club. But usually the people that I see, what they have on the floor, what we have to use was, maybe 2 feet long. This thing was a good 4 feet long, the foam roller that she had, and a good, I don't know, small dinner plate size round. Fairly firm. And she said that was one of the softer ones. But she put that on the table. She crawled up on the table, and she says, okay, you put this under your mid-back, and then you lay on it, and you just kind of lay back, and you're just, she had her hands up. Her head was almost touching the table, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then she kind of rolled on it a little bit so that it moved up to the, middle back, and same, kept her head back and all that, and then she rolled it up to the top of her shoulders, and then just kind of stretched out. She was okay, and then after that, then we do it kind of like parallel with your body, and you lay on it, lay down with your spine down there, and just do kind of a snow angel. So then you have your arms out, and you just kind of lay there. And so, okay, so she has me pop up on the table, and I get the foam roller in the middle, the bottom of my back area and stuff, and I'm leaning against it, and I'm like, I'm at a sitting position. I'm like this, and I'm like, but I can't even get, you had your head almost back on the table. And she goes, yeah, most people aren't that limber. Most people have tight backs. And I'm like, holy smokers. Okay, yeah. It still felt good. I had mentioned to her that I was doing, one of the extra exercises I added on myself was doing just some crunches. So I was, with my hands on my knees and just kind of going up to my knees and down, but it was hurting my neck. Just doing all that was like, ooh, okay, again, that also isn't as strong. So then I put my hands behind to hold my head, doing some crunches that way. And it was like, oh, this whole area, even opening up all up here. It just felt so good to stretch and to hold that. So that was part of it, was doing the foam roller, that to try to get up there. And then I was putting my hands, again, I'm like, oh, the stretching, and it felt good, but I was nowhere near limber. And then we moved it up the back a little bit and moved it to the shoulders, and I could feel it in my shoulder, and it felt good on the shoulder, but it's still, I don't know, as though that was really what it was meant to do, but so then we put it along my spine, and I lay back on it that way, and so I'm like, oh yeah, so I put my arms out, and I put the one arm out, and she goes, well, you should do both arms. And I'm like, well, this was the shoulder that hurts, so I can get it. I'm like, oh, but here it hurts. And she goes, okay, well, then put it here. And I said, interesting that even on the foam roller, that it felt more opening and more, I don't know, freeing than just laying even on a flat floor. That I found that interesting, that I didn't think there'd be, that much bend in the side, with your back or whatever, there'd be that much bending that it would still open it up. So that was basically the end of the appointment, and she had put in the paperwork that I read from last week that she wanted a total of 12 weeks she thought would be sufficient. And when I mentioned that to her, she goes, well, I wanted to put that out there because it's easier to have more appointments and not need them than to try to get approved for more. So I think I went ahead and I scheduled out 8 more. So 8, 9, 6, I think that'd be 11 total. And either way, I thought, we'll figure out how this goes and how many I really need. Don't need to have all 12. But as I was leaving the office, it was just like, ooh, I felt more open. I felt like, ooh, this was so nice. It was just like, I couldn't believe I felt the difference. I was kind of wondering what we were going to do that day, how it was really going to, make a difference or anything, and it did. So I believe she said they sell the foam rollers there. I can double check. She was like, look on Amazon. You should be able to get one for $20 or so, and then they sell them there for 20 or something. So I haven't done that yet. We'll take the time this weekend and look online and see if I can find one of those big foam rollers. I think, my daughter here is like, oh, I wish we kind of had one now. I want to see if I can do what your physical therapist can do. And I'm like, you probably can. I'm like, you're just 21. You're gonna, you can do it. She was laying on the floor. I'm like, can you do this move where you put your, I do the thing with putting the knees to the side, and then how you have your back stretched out. And she's just laying there. Both her shoulders are touching the floor. And I'm like, yeah, see? I'm like, I used to be able to do that. I'm like, I can't right now. But yeah, she was like, I feel a little stretching, but no, this is easy. I'm like, yeah. I remember being that age too with my mom going, you keep doing that. You just keep those moves up because, so you can always do that. So you don't get to a point where you can't. And I was like, I'm always going to be able to do this. I'm good, because again, I like exercising. I like doing this stuff and I'm going to keep moving. And yeah, well, I got to that point a while ago that I couldn't do some of the moves. And I'm like, okay, gotta start practicing some of the stuff again some more. Keep moving. So that was the pelvic floor therapy. Didn't talk about the dilator type stuff. I had some challenges with getting the dilators and getting them delivered and stuff. So I just finally got those in the other day. And we'll start that and see if I feel anything of that, how much of a difference that makes or anything. But that will come. Again, mainly I'm glad we're working on that midline scar stuff and keeping the belly, getting this all back to normal. And then I had the acupuncture today. So as I met with the therapist, the acupuncturist, we kind of talked a little bit as we went back to the room, and she's like, just to let you know, it's a communal room, and so there is one other patient in there already. And so she's like, is there anything you want to talk about before we get in there? And I'm thinking, well, I'm assuming you looked at my record, so you kind of know what's going on. And she was, yeah, I'm kind of confused why you're here. And I said that, well, I'd had, the tumor, and I had radiation. I had chemotherapy. And I said, and the doctor had recommended I could do acupuncture or, and or massage. But at that point in time, I said I kind of didn't get how it would help. When I'm having symptoms for 3 days, and if I don't have acupuncture within those 3 days, how would it help with taking away my symptoms? Not really thinking that, well, whatever you do, again, really should last a couple days and should help overall. And so I thought, but at this point in time, I said I still have neuropathy in my feet. And so she was, oh, okay, you're here for neuropathy. So I'm like, yeah. So we got in the room, and there was another young gal in there. She looked like 25. Maybe she was a little older, but young. And so when we talked a little bit, and I kind of have the realization, or know that the way that this works is, this is the cancer acupuncture. So Aurora gets a grant, they get funding to have this program where they can offer the acupuncture for this reduced price. So, again, the first one's free. Every appointment after this, I have to pay $40. But you get that reduced price because they have this money from the fund that they supplement it with. So they only treat cancer symptoms in this clinic, at this clinic, in that room. And so she said if you wanted to do acupuncture for just regular health, anything else, she was, maybe your insurance might cover that, but you'd have to go to a different clinic for that. So I thought, okay, well, interesting, good to know. She was in, and those usually run about $120. So saying either whether insurance covers it, great. If not, that would be the out-of-pocket cost. But seeing as I was there for the neuropathy, so that was about all we talked about. Got in the chair. She had me take off my shoes and socks and pull up my pant legs, and I had my sleeves up. And she said that we'll start with the feet and see how that goes, and then work kind of our way up. So she ended up doing, on the feet, she did between each of the toes. She put a little needle in, and those I didn't feel, kind of too, because especially the left foot was kind of numb. She started with the right foot, and I thought, oh, I could kind of feel the pinky one just a tad, not that I knew it was going in. And the other ones I didn't really feel, and the left foot I didn't really feel. And then on the right leg, she did 2 on the outside tibial band. I have pictures. I was able to take pictures there, so yeah, I'll insert those. But I had 2 on the outside leg. Can I lift up my leg high enough? Where's my foot? Woo! So she did 2 on the outside of the leg, and then 1 on the inside. And same on the other side. And when she put that first one in, you know, that one I felt. It was like, oh, ow. And she's like, okay, are you okay? You know, is it dissipating? Is it going, you know, are you okay? And I was just like, well, it's, yeah, okay, I'm okay. And she goes, yeah, your band on the outside of this leg is really tight. So I'm like, okay. And then she did the second one and then the inside one, and fine. And then she's like, okay, how are we feeling? Doing okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling okay. She goes, should we do the hands? And I'm like, sure. So then she went to the hands and she did the same thing between each of the fingers and by the thumb. She did them on each hand, and she put one in the middle of my forehead. So okay, she goes, and now you just sit there for half an hour. I'm like, oh, okay. And so in the meantime, I asked the other gal how long she's been doing this, and she said this was her 6th treatment. And she finds that it helps, that it, I don't know, I think she said she hasn't had any neuropathy. And she said she also has been doing the ice gloves and feet packing type thing. So again, if you're in the cancer community, you kind of hear about that that some people, to help keep, again, the neuropathy away, is there are these mitten type things that you can wear that are like cold packs. And you wear them on your hands, and you can wear, and they have ones for your feet too. And so she does that during treatment. I'm pretty sure you wear them while you're having the treatment. And that's supposed to help, like I said, help keep your hands and feet okay. And that helped for her. And I was like, wow, you know, that's interesting. I've heard about that, I read about it, but I had the cold sensation not after the first treatment, maybe by the 2nd or 3rd, that like, yeah, I couldn't touch cold stuff in the refrigerator or go grocery shop. I'd have to put gloves on to like grab the meat and anything in the cool departments, in the produce and the meat and the dairy, you know, all the cold stuff. I wasn't able to grab, as it would send shooting pains through the fingers. And so again, depending on the cancer treatment you're having, the type of chemotherapy you're having, you'll have that as a side effect, maybe. So for her, I was thinking it was pretty good. So that was good to know that, you know, she felt that was working for her. So I thought, all right, I went ahead and made 3 more appointments, and figured we'll try a month's worth, and see, it's just once a week. That's about it. So yeah, I didn't really feel anything. I had to sign off on a consent sheet beforehand, as you do, and it had listed some things in there, as in, you know, you're getting treatment and you may experience some of these side effects type thing. Like you could get some bruising, you could get some bleeding when they take out the needles, you could get itching. They offer different types of acupuncture also, different forms, where they do one that's called cupping. You've seen that or not? I've seen it. So they take a cup and they put it on your skin. Usually they heat up something, they take a flame or whatever, and they heat up the inside of the cup and they put it on your skin, so that way it really sticks. And they let that sit there for a while, and your skin kind of forms a bubble on the inside, kind of a hump. It kind of raises up. And then when they release the cup, obviously the skin lets loose, but there may be a red ring around there, and it could bruise. And they do like electrical stimulation. I was like, oh, that's interesting, okay. And a couple other things. I was going to talk. So I've kind of informally named my stoma Rosie. I still feel funny calling it a name, but it's kind of like, okay, Rosie's being talkative. She's got her things to say too. Anyways, so they do offer these different accoutrements, different forms of acupuncture. And so while I had all my needles in, she did mention about how sometimes to like speed up the process, to help it along a little bit, that they could do electrical stimulation. And because my left side is worse than my right, she said, we could do that on your left leg if you'd like. And I was like, yeah, no, not at this time. And she goes, yeah, not for the first one, we're just going to do this. And I said, yeah, let's just get through this one, see how it all goes. And I was like, understandable. That was cool. She was very nice, very kind, good. I asked her how long she's been doing it. She said she's been 10 years full time with Aurora doing this. So that was very nice. That she knows her stuff. And she works at this clinic, and then she does work at another clinic, and that's where again you can have like the full body stuff done if you want. What else? And then she mentioned another place. I know there are like individual places, individual like acupuncturists that would open their own shop type of thing, their own office that you can have stuff done at. So I believe she works at one of those also. But they may not take insurance at all. That was my understanding. So in any case, that was about it. We pretty much talked for the whole half an hour, so it wasn't like I really realized. They had nice music playing with some birds chirping. That was about it. So then she took the needles out, and surprisingly, I thought the one on my left would bleed a little bit, but the one on my right side, the top one, there's a little spot of blood afterwards. I didn't feel anything. But got my socks and shoes back on, and I'm wearing kind of like compression socks. One of the people in one of the Facebook groups, the colon groups, mentioned something about copper socks are supposed to be good for neuropathy. So I thought, what the heck, I will order some. Well, they happen to be longer socks, so they go almost up to my knee. That I didn't think they'd be that long. I thought they'd go just mid-calf. But whatever. So there are compression also. So I thought, well, after the acupuncture, I didn't want to put pressure on anything, just in case whatever. So I had them just around my ankle. And the acupuncturist was like, "Oh, pull your socks up all the way. The compression will be good for to not have the blood pool or anything pool in my legs." And I was like, "All right, that's fine. I'll put them back up." So I did, and she was going to look up in her book. She has heard of other things that help with like neuropathy and that, but she hadn't heard of copper. She knew it helped with something else, but she was like, I'm going to look that up and see if it helps with neuropathy. So as we were standing there talking, and she was making me the next appointments, she asked how I was feeling and whatever. I said, well, I could feel a little itching next to my right pinky toe, so where that needle had been. And she was like, okay, well, that's okay. She says a little histamine reaction. That could be what I thought, okay. And then when I was leaving, I could feel a little bit of itching where that left needle was. The one that had hurt a little bit, just a little bit itching there, but that went away within a couple minutes. So that was nice. So I didn't really have any other after effects I could tell. It all still seems fairly the same. So we'll see if I notice anything when the days go by. And or how the next appointment goes. So we'll see if she does the needles in the same place or not. The other gal had needles in a couple different places. She had the one in her forehead, and she had a couple in her feet, but I think also it was more on the upper part of the foot and not in between the toes. She may have had one or two by the toes, but I think it was more upper foot, and a couple in her legs, and she had a couple in her arms. So we shall see how this goes. Other than that, last weekend, it was a little bit of fun. We went out with the in-laws, with my mother-in-law and sister-in-law. Got to have lunch with them. So kind of sort of St. Patrick's Day, but also my husband and daughter's birthday are coming up next week. And so it was kind of also a birthday celebration. So when we got back to the house, they had birthday cake for us. But it was good going out to eat. The restaurant was a little busy, not too bad, but we had a reservation because there were 5 of us. Yeah, it's potential of 7. But only 5 of us made it, and so that was good. Went to a place we've been to 2 other times, so this is our 3rd time. They've been there a couple of more times than that, but always good food, good service, so that was fun, and it wasn't too busy or anything, so that was good. And then this coming weekend, so this Sunday, it's just going to be just the immediate family, and we're going to go out to eat, and then celebrate the birthdays and do that, which reminds me. So I was going to wrap the gifts up today and get that ready to go. So that's what I get to do next. along with other regular household things like dishes and editing this video. So that's what's been going on here by me. What have you guys got going on? Let me know in the comments of anything fun. I know spring break was just happening here, and one of you mentioned you were going to spend some time with the grandkids, so that had to be a lot of fun. Always is time, fun having some time with the family. Hopefully not too tiring. But that's it from me. So I hope you guys are all doing well. Keep it positive. Go make it a great day. Bye-bye. Oh yeah, I'll go do some exercises and show you. So these are the copper socks. So I believe the copper is in part of the gray areas. Not completely sure. And then obviously the compression part. But I just thought I'd wear them to show you what they look like. Like I said, I got my daughter some that are just ankle high.